Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer and today I'm Gamesplaining Stone Age. The turns in Stone Age look like taking one or multiple of the meeples that each of us have available, we all start with 5, and placing them in one location somewhere on the board. If I place one of my meeples there, no one else is able to use that location as there's only one space for meeples available. The next player will then place meeples in one of their locations, whichever one they choose, and so on until it's your turn again. The number of meeples you're allowed to place at any location is indicated by the number of circles. So these locations up here, the resource fields, all have 7 circles available. The hunting grounds up in the top corner can accept any number of meeples. See, there's an incomplete circle here. Once all of the circles at a location are filled, no more meeples are able to go there. So if I place my other 4 meeples at the gold area, only 3 other meeples are going to be able to go to that particular location on this round. Once all of the meeples have been put into position, we then go around and each player will return their meeples and do whatever each location suggests. So let's give a really quick rundown of that. The most important locations for you to watch out for at the beginning of the game are along this line here, and they are firstly the field. In the field, by placing one meeple there, I get to move this counter 1 point further up the agriculture track. If I happen to place 2 of my meeples at the hut, this one must take 2 meeples. You can't just put 1 there. They return and you collect 1 more meeple from the extra ones left over. They make a baby that joins your tribe for the rest of the game. The tool maker allows you to take one of these, which will give you a +1 or an added 1 onto any dice rolls that you do further into the game, and you just place that on your board there. When we then look up into the resource areas, you have the ability to get gold, stone, clay, wood. They're the resources available to us. They are the resources that will allow you to purchase things at the bottom of the board down here, which we will get into later. The way the resource fields work is the number of meeple that you have at each resource location, that's how many dice you roll. So for example, there are 3 meeples at the gold location, I will roll 3 dice. If you look at the player chart in front of you, you will notice that there is number 6 underneath the gold, 5 under the stone, 4 under the clay, 3 under the wood. That's telling you what number you need to roll on the dice in order to be able to collect that resource. 3. So, in the gold field we have 3 meeples, which means we roll 3 dice. The board tells me that we need 6 on the dice to receive the gold. So I roll my 3 dice. I have a 6, which gives me a gold. I have a 5 and a 3. The 3 is going to do nothing for me. That 5, I can now use this tool that I picked up earlier, see the number 1 on it, to add 1 to that dice roll. As you get more tools, you will get 2, 3, and 4 to be able to add to your dice rolls. So that 5 will +1 gives me 1 extra gold. Notice that I turned the tool to the side to show that I have used it already. Those meeples then come back onto my board. Since I'm out of meeples on the playing board, the next player will collect their meeples and do what each of the associated locations requires. If you have meeples up in the hunting fields, so I've just put 5 up there for the moment, that tells me that I'm going to roll 5 dice. The way that we get food is roll the 5 dice and halve the number that's showing. In this particular roll I've rolled 24, so I would take 12 food. That 12 food then go onto your player board. At the end of the turn, once all the players have retrieved their meeples, you will pay 1 food per meeple in your tribe. So this tribe currently has 6 because they went to the hut. I would owe 6. This number 1 on the agriculture track means that 1 of my food has already been paid for by agriculture, so I only have to pay 5 food to keep my 6 meeples alive, and they get paid straight back into the hunting field. The game continues in that fashion until either there's not enough cards to fill up all the 4 spaces here, or one of these 4 stacks has been depleted. The way that those cards and stacks get depleted is the same as every other location. Place a meeple on there in your turn. You're only allowed to place 1 meeple on one of those per turn because each is a different location. These markers above these cards tell you the cost to purchase the card that's underneath it. So this marking actually means that you can use one of any resource. So for example, I've got a gold on my mat, so I could use this gold to purchase this card if I wish to. This card will cost 2 of any resource. They don't have to be the same. 3 and 4. Once this card has been purchased, that would go onto my board, and as we set up for the next round, all of these cards get moved down 1, and the next one of these cards gets revealed into this space. So the ones that are expensive will eventually become cheap. The way to purchase these cards is with the resource listed on the bottom. I'll go into what the icons on these cards mean a bit more in part 2, but the game won't finish unless you collect either cards or these tiles or both. Just to break these cards down really quickly, on the cards, after you've paid the resource, which we were talking about earlier, whatever's written up in the water section of the card tells you what you're going to get back, and whatever's on the bottom on these cards will affect the point scoring at the end of the game, as marked on the top right hand corner of your player mat. On these tiles, the resource required to purchase the tile is marked along the bottom. What you gain is marked along the top. The icons mean a little bit more than that. It's a little bit deeper than that, but that's the essence of it. To find out, all of these cards and the iconography is listed in the rules, so if you wish to look it up as you're playing the game, that's probably the best way to go. I'll explain the basics in part 2, but you can now get the game started. This is the start player marker. First player has this to start with. As you set up for the next one, it will get past the left, so everyone will get a chance to grab whichever areas and locations they're looking for first. The winner of the game is the person with the most points once either these cards run out or one of these piles runs out. I hope this Gamesplanation has helped you get Stone Age to the table. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below. If you have a game that you would like Gamesplained, please send me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what games I've been playing, and carry on to watch part 2. Until next time, enjoy gaming.